Welcome mates, I'm Bloodthirsty Lord, but you can call me Lordy, and today we're back on Paragon once again. Should be seeing more Chimera gameplay in the background, but that isn't the main focus of today. The topic for today that we're going to discuss, new hero concepts in Paragon done by the fans and the mates of the channel, because some of you mates have been linking me these new hero concepts that you created for yourself that can be put into the world of Agora or the universe of Agora, and maybe the Paragon team and the Epic Games team can take this in consideration when they're making the other heroes in the future. We never know, it's always a good chance to bring something out from the community, because potentially the Epic Games team and Paragon team can pick some ideas out of this and make it into something else or make a hero out of it. So that's something I want to see happen in the future if Epic Games and Paragon team are listening on our feedback when it comes to heroes, especially when it comes to new heroes that could be coming to Paragon. So this might be a one-off video, it might be a series, we don't know yet unless you mates enjoy this. But before we get into this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe button to keep up to date with the greatest and latest Paragon Gaming content and Paragon Gaming news. And if you mates haven't turned on notifications yet, make sure you do so by hitting that little bell button next to the subscribe button so you have the chance to become one of the first mates on the channel up to date with my amazing Paragon Gaming content. And as always, expect it here first. So without further ado, let's get straight into this. So the mate that linked me to this actual fan-made hero concept doesn't know I'm actually doing this video, so it's going to be kind of a surprise for him, so his name will appear right now through his tweet. Hopefully he's surprised when he sees this, because it's going to be one bloody amazing moment guaranteed. But enough about that, let's explain this new hero. The new hero is Cothandra, a ranged hero or ranger. Affinities are Fury and Corruption. She's a Marauder, Attacker, Elusive, and Burst. Those are her traits. Her base attack is at 9, her ability is at 6, her durability is at 3, her mobility is at 5. So she does have good mobility, good ability power, and obviously very high basic attacks within the stats, which makes it easy for her to be a late game carry and burst targets down quite easily. And because she's elusive, she might be as elusive as Twin Blast, for example, another marksman or ranger within the game. And it's obviously a very good factor to have some type of movement speed or movement ability or some type of gap closer or disengage ability to get out of sticky situations, and that's very good. So a slippery ranger hero, and with Fury and Corruption as the affinities, 100% easy builds and easy kills for days. Cothandra, Cothandra, Cothandra. I don't know why that name sounds so weird. Maybe I'm saying it wrong. I have no clue. So no disrespect there if I'm saying it wrong, but the name's like a tongue twister if you keep saying it multiple times. And now let's move on to the lore aspect of this character, and that's maybe the most interesting aspect of this whole hero concept in my opinion. Let's go into it. Cothandra is a powerful marksman who takes the power of space and uses it to her command. Cothandra grew up with Gideon, as they consider each other as brothers and sisters. Oh my god, that would be one interesting lore aspect to this character. Cothandra was always into stars and anything that involved space. Her father was a mage who died in a great battle many years ago, when she was only 5. So now we know through its lore aspect, if it was actually real, that Gideon's father died 5 years ago, because obviously they're brothers and sisters. Actually, it's a bit unclear there, so I'm guessing they're not brothers and sisters, maybe they just grew up together and that's all. Cothandra, after hearing the news of her father's death, then ran away, leaving her mother alone with her baby brother. So her baby brother at the time was most likely Gideon. Cothandra survived on her own after that. After being with herself, she discovered the true powers that she inherited from her father. Cothandra grew up practicing and training herself to be strong and powerful, so then she could find the killer of her father and avenge his death. Cothandra and Gideon met each other when Cothandra was only 6 years old and Gideon was 26 very soon. Once he did, Gideon also got into space knowledge and stars. Gideon also had powers similar to Cothandra, but never used them because he felt there was no use, until he witnessed the death of a star and fell in love. I think this lore part was supposed to be he instead of her, because it's connected to Gideon and why he fell in love with Cothandra. And obviously, if he's falling in love with Cothandra, this is no brother and sister relationship, so get that out of your mind straight away. They're just two people that met at the age of 6 years old, or around that age, and when a certain thing happened, they fell in love. It's pretty much like the old Spider-Man movies. Just think about that. So they decided to train together for years. Once they were very much grown adults, they disagreed on how their powers shall be used. Gideon wanted to use them for discovery and knowledge, and Cothandra wanted to use hers for harm and to seek the vengeance for her father's death. Growing up, Cothandra was the only one who knew Gideon's secrets, so she threatened to release them for everyone to know if he didn't help her. Gideon right away disagreed, then causing Cothandra to shoot him with a star. Gideon quickly overpowered her and threatened her life if she told people the secret. The two then separated, with Cothandra seeking the vengeance for her father's death, and Gideon keeping a very close eye on her and practicing his powers. And that is the end of the lore. And honestly, this is a lot of lore compared to any other hero that we have in the game, or anything that we know about Paragon at this current moment about lore. So this is a lot, and obviously it's very good because it connects to a hero that we know of that was was originally the first couple of heroes within Paragon, and that was Gideon. And I like that connection there. It's very interesting how it all worked out and what happened and how she became what she is. And pretty much to know her backstory, Cathandra's backstory, and some part of Gideon's backstory is pretty sick as well. And now let's move on to her abilities, Cathandra's abilities. Her first ability is Light in the Sky. Range basic attack dealing 55 basic damage, creates a spear made of stars. Kind of interesting. Let's move on to her next ability, Passage Through Space. Cathandra opens a portal, sending a large star in the direction she aims in, dealing 75 ability damage. So this is pretty much like Cosmic Rift, but I'm guessing the portal is like a sideways thing instead of being on top and coming downwards. And this will go from one side to the other, maybe go forwards or even backwards with this ability to do the damage output. So something a little bit unique there. Her next ability, Frenzy of Asteroids, takes the asteroids and separates it into small pieces and sends them through to the surrounding enemy. This causes an enemy to take 50% more damage from Cathandra's basic attacks. This is an interesting ability, but I feel like the visual aspect of this isn't too great because it looks like he's doing damage around him instead of him taking more damage. I feel like Cathandra should place a tag or marker on the enemy unit that she's done the ability on, so then your teammates can react to the actual hero that's been chosen or marked or tagged, which will lead to the enemy unit being eliminated as quick as possible because your team knows what's actually going on, and obviously the bonus damage output that you'll gain from targeting that one enemy. It's one interesting aspect to have asteroids towards an enemy unit that's going around him. I found that pretty sick, but it doesn't work really well when you're trying to debuff a hero because it looks like it's going to do damage. So the way I did it was maybe better, so if you do want to take that into consideration, if you ever change your post, make sure you do, because that might make it easier for people to understand in the future if this hero does come out. Because personally, that is maybe the easiest way to show that a hero has been actually debuffed, or enemy unit has been debuffed before actually going to attack it. And now let's move on to the next ability, and that is Grapple of Space. Cathandra summons a grapple made of space itself, pulling her to the surface that the grapple is aimed at. Max range 900 units. So it's kind of interesting because it's like, another hero from another game. That's like Widowmaker. She has a grappling ability, but this obviously goes 900 units. It's pretty much the same units as Gideon's teleport, but you have to grapple to her surface in order to move towards that surface. That's what makes her elusive and pretty much make her disengage, engage in fights. It's kind of an interesting aspect, and I can't wait to see that if there was an actual ability in game. So I find that ability kind of unique, in my opinion. And now let's move on to Cathandra's ultimate, Violent Connection. Cathandra creates ropes made of energy that attach to her enemies around her, dealing damage per second lasting for 7 seconds, radius of 875 units. So the damage is kind of unknown, but I'm guessing it will do quite a bit of damage. Imagine this ability along with the Phase Ultimate at the exact same time. Pretty much ropes everywhere. It's going to look weird as hell, but there's going to be a whole bunch of damage, and there's going to be a whole bunch of burst damage as well. So it'll be kind of interesting to see that connection or that synergy between those two heroes. Either way, Cathandra sounds like a very interesting hero that is also reasonable and ordinary, and most likely the mechanics are possible within a MOBA, especially Paragon with the engine they do have. But I'm kind of surprised the fan or the mate that made this hero concept held back, because usually people, when they get the chance to make like some type of hero concept, they'll go over the moon with it and make some crazy mechanics that just don't make sense at all, or the actual ability itself is kind of unclear and doesn't make sense at all. But I honestly like the way the character did shape up with all this information. There's a couple of wow factors within the actual kit of Cathandra, obviously chucking spears of stars as her basic attack towards the enemy hero because she is a ranger, followed up by her Violent Ropes ultimate, which essentially is that any enemies that did get caught by the ropes get damage over time on them, or that effect. So that's kind of interesting. Obviously the damage output might be high or low. There's no stats or numbers about that because obviously the game is always changing constantly, and just thinking about that concept is good enough. And followed up by her grappling hook, which is maybe the one thing that people will start to love, especially because I've seen people in Overwatch love Widowmaker because of that grappling hook and the abilities that she does have alongside that. But the grappling hook mechanic is kind of interesting and something I want to see in Paragon. And that is all the information and everything that we know about this new hero concept of Cathandra, made by a fan or mates of the family of mates. Either way, this was kind of amazing to read and just experience the idea or vision of what the person had when they were trying to create this hero or this concept. But as always, mates, I want to know your thoughts about this hero concept on Cathandra. What do you think about it? Do you think it's a good hero? Do you think it's a bad hero? And do you want to see this hero actually be released in Paragon? And if you want to read all this information for yourself, you can do so. There'll be a link in the description, and that's pretty sick. So mates, tell me your opinions and thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you got your own hero concept that you want to submit to me, make sure you send me the actual link to the hero concept through a tweet on Twitter, because you never never know, I might pick it as my next hero concept video in the future if we do decide to keep this series going. So mates, if you did enjoy this video, show your support by smashing that bloody like button. Let's try to get 250 likes on this video. And if you guys want to see more Paragon Gaming content and Paragon Gaming news on my channel, all you have to do is share this with your friends and hit the subscribe button to become a mate today. That's all for this video. Oh, time to go, but don't you worry. We're back very soon. Hey, Chads boys, because you ain't seen nothing yet. If you want to see this series continue, make sure you smash that bloody like button.
That it feels right.